Hi, I'm with Emily again. She's going to be one of the speakers at our Operation Joshua conference on September 23rd. And Emily's going to be talking a little bit about, let Emily tell you what she's going to talk about.
One of the things I'd like to talk about is I'd like to talk directly to the church and to let you know that parents didn't cause their child's transgender issues.
Mm-hmm.
That so often the parents just carry such incredible guilt and what did I do wrong, and blaming one or the other. You did this or you didn't do that, or you should have done this.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes the parents are even put through church discipline, or even
Wow.
the child. There have been cases where
Wow.
the child at some point has been put through church discipline.
Mm-hmm.
because of this issue. And honestly, the parents didn't cause our sinful nature.
Yeah.
And the parents can't fix it.
Yeah.
That's why Jesus came to die for us.
Yeah.
And so that's why we need to seek him.
Yeah.
And we need to seek him together.
And I think as a church community, for us to kind of blame the parents, and listen, this is a new thing in our history and our culture, and it can be really scary, and it can be easy to be like, well, you shouldn't have your kids online, or you shouldn't this. But here's the thing, all these kids are online. If it wasn't social media, it might have been the television, right? But I see what's happening to parents and why so many of these families are getting swept up into doing surgeries and giving their kids, puberty blockers that, can sterilize them and all of these things, because you've already got a parent that's been beaten down and blamed. So when you're beaten down and blamed, you're like, okay, well, I need to fix it then. And you go to the professionals, and the professionals now have a broken parent who is willing to just do whatever they say. And so when they're saying, hey, you need to do this, and I spent 15 minutes with your kid, and now I'm going to give them a prescription, the fight's out of them. The questioning is out of them. They already are so overwhelmed with guilt and shame that they're not asserting themselves, because they've already been told you should question your reasoning, you should question everything. And unfortunately, we're just worsening it. We're just making that person not able to advocate for their kid because, they're just basking in the enemy's shame. So I think that's a great point. Do you feel like that happens often in the church typically?
It happens quite frequently where honestly, church leadership hasn't been trained for this.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do with it. And it happens even in homeschool families where the parents have done absolutely everything they can to protect and train their children, and yet the influence has seeped in and wreaked havoc. Now these parents, a lot of times, they're also their child who is being indoctrinated, there's a script. There are literal scripts that these kids are being fed.
Wow.
And they're all saying the same thing, and it's all manipulation, and it's all about dividing children from their parents so that then the child is even more vulnerable.
Wow. And we've seen that, right? We've seen that even amongst lawmakers. Recently I was reading that California and I think the state of Washington have passed laws, or are trying to pass laws, that say if you don't affirm your child's gender identity, that we can pull custody from you. And we've seen parents in divorces, if one parent isn't affirming, they've lost custody. And judges, I worked in the legal community for 30 years. I've worked with judges endlessly. I can't believe that a judge would pull custody for that. And so we're seeing some real heavy duty stuff where they are trying to separate the parents from the children, and allowing children to consent to surgeries and medications at a very, very young age. Mm-hmm. And have you seen much in your experience? I've been reading a lot about parents or teachers being told to hide things from the parents. Have you seen this a lot, or do you have some parents that you've worked with that's been their experience?
There are parents all over the world who are experiencing this. And, it's not just Christian parents, even liberal parents who, may be atheist, are horrified at what's happening to their children, and horrified by what the schools are doing. Yes, this is an epidemic.
Yeah.
We're actually very fortunate in Brevard County to have some of the protections being built in that we have right now.
I remember reading about a school, it was a charter school, I believe, up in Connecticut, that was giving prescription puberty blockers to students without parents' consent. These were minor children. Now my kid can't even practically get a Band-Aid,
Right.
but you can give a puberty blocker and not tell me? And that's just kind of the tip of the spear.
Right, and then the parents are having to deal with the medical and financial repercussions of this.
Yeah.
But look at the tactics of the enemy, because all of these cross-sex hormones and everything that our kids are taking, it's sterilizing them. It's, they're no longer trying to kill babies, they're trying to prevent them from ever being born. They're trying to just eliminate the generations to come. And the generations are a promise to us.
Yeah, that's right. That is, the Bible says, right? That's the blessing. That's our blessing, is generations to come. And this whole practice is literally just wiping out your heritage. And that's a good point. So if you'd like to hear more about what Emily has to say at our conference, remember, come out on September 23rd to the Operation Joshua Daniel Conference. If you'd like to buy tickets, go to operation-joshua.com. Thanks.